Final Fantasy II, released on the 17th of December 1988 in Japan, follows the story of Firion and his friends, who had to escape from the capital of Fynn after an attack from the Empire of Palamecia. The Palamecian campaign of conquest sparked the resistance movement in Fynn to stop it, but was unsuccessful, and with Fynn burning, Firion's escape goes south. After naming my characters their canon names of Firion, Leon, Maria, and Guy, the game starts with immediate combat against Black Knights, who clean up my party in no time. After this defeat, Firion is nursed back to health by the white mage Minwu, who ensures Princess Hilda that he will make it. They had found Firion gravely injured during their escape from Fynn. With Minwu's sigil active, they leave him be. Hilda, though, is concerned by the dreadnought airship that is being built in Bafsk by the Empire. Action must be taken. Firion comes to his senses, calling for his friends. As he leaves the room, he finds Maria and Guy, asking where Leon is, but his whereabouts are unknown. Firion believes he is safe though. He then meets with Princess Hilda, wanting to join the rebel army. She refuses, wanting them to return to their homes, which they can't because the Empire had slaughtered their families. Hilda allows the group to stay in Altair, telling them the password of the resistance, Wild Rose. This is our first keyword. Keywords can be learned and used to uncover extra information from NPCs. Reiterating the password to Hilda reveals that it is the symbol of the Kingdom of Fynn. She also believes that Leon is being held in Fynn, which is under the Empire's heel. I then talk to Minwu. Our first mission is to infiltrate Fynn. Asking about the Wild Rose, he tells us that the information that it will uncover will be very important. A rebel soldier says that the town of Palom is to the east, but can only be accessed by canoe. A wise man tells that Fynn is filled with the Empire's monsters. I leave this room, then enter the northeastern room. The king lies here, resting due to having suffered a grave injury in his escape from Fynn, struck by an arrow. As such, it's his daughter that leads the army. I leave this room, talking to a man who says that Prince Gordon of Kashuan is hiding here in Altair, having lost faith in himself. I then open a chest that contains a potion. It heals a fair amount of HP, but when used in combat it's self-targeted, something shared with all healing items. I should take this opportunity to talk about the party, which starts with 3 members, Firion, Maria and Guy. Firion starts with balanced overall stats, not having any apparent biases. Maria starts with lower HP, strength and stamina in exchange for better agility and intelligence, having a slight bias for black magic casting, while Guy starts with higher HP, strength and stamina, but has lower agility, having a slight bias towards tanking and weapon combat. In the end though, these 3 are a blank canvas for the player to mold in any direction of their choosing. I leave the Rebel HQ, finding the thief Paul, responsible for stealing much imperial assets. Telling him about the Wild Rose reveals that he never steals from the rebels, being from Fynn himself. A man says that Altair hasn't been targeted yet by the Empire. I find Gordon, Prince of Kashuan, a self-admitted coward. He abandoned his kingdom as well as his brother, Scott. Asking about the Wild Rose, he says that he's afraid of even asking Hilda to join, so he hasn't tried. A man says that Paul can be trusted, while another says that Tobul, the blacksmith, is incredibly skilled. Talking to Tobul though, he presents himself as a simple old man, but saying the password reveals him as the best blacksmith around. This town also has many facilities, including an inn. Don't let the 0 guild cost fool you, it's because I have a fully healed party. In price, scales with missing HP and MP. There's also a healing statue that revives party members for free. An item shop that sells potions, high potions, eye drops, antidotes, crosses, mallets, maiden's kisses, gold needles, phoenix downs, ethers, cottages, and elixirs. These listings are universal among all item shops available. There's a weapon shop that sells knives, staves, javelins, and broadswords. Different weapon types have different skill levels that gain experience in combat, increasing the amount of hits possible. There's an armor shop that sells bucklers, leather caps, clothes, and leather gloves, and a magic shop that sells fire, thunder, blizzard, and cure, which are sold in tomes that can be used to teach party members the spell or used in combat for a strong single-use version of the spell. Cure is a white magic spell that restores HP, while fire, thunder, and blizzard are black magic spells that inflict elemental damage. These spells can be leveled up just like weapon skills. I buy a staff for Maria and bucklers for Maria and Guy. I will be frontlining Maria for a while, so I'm equipping her with a melee weapon and a shield. Later, I might put her in the back row. I then set out to Fynn. Enemies found around Altair include goblins, weak enemies that drop a decent amount of gil among early enemies, hornets, enemies capable of envenoming party members with their attacks, a temporary form of poisoning with no need for field healing, and leg eaters, enemies with a slight accuracy increase with some irrelevant resistances. I travel north. Ooh, that water looks nice. Anyway, as I travel through the overworld and fight against the enemies present here, I should note that in this game, party member stats are increased through combat actions and the like. Attacking will increase strength, black magic increases intelligence, white magic increases spirit, losing HP increases stamina and max HP, losing MP increases magic and maximum MP, while agility is randomly increased based on the unit's evasion rating. Party members also have evasion and magic defense levels, which gain experience from being targeted by melee attacks and magic spells respectively. I go north enough that I reach the town of Gatrea. Facilities in this town include an inn, a healing statue, an item shop, a weapon shop that sells javelins, broadswords, axes and bows, and an armor shop that sells bucklers, leather caps, leather armor, and leather gloves. A man says that Fynn is to the other side of a nearby lake. In there is a pub on the outskirts. Since the owner couldn't escape, he now serves the Imperials. I circumvent the nearby lake, arriving at the town of Fynn. It is teeming with Imperial soldiers, with blocked buildings and vacant shops. There are also monsters abound, including the new Sprinter enemy, which has higher HP and attack, while also being a bit evasive. I leave through the north, circling the walls on the east, arriving at the pub. I talk to the owner, who complains about the Imperials. After telling him the password, he leaves, revealing that a wounded soldier is on the other side of the wall. I walk through, finding 3 chests, each holding a potion. A bit of a shame that items don't stack in the inventory. The wounded soldier here believes that I will turn him to the Empire, but after telling him the password, he identifies himself as Prince Scott of Kashuan, barely alive, asking a favor of us. We must tell his brother Gordon that he's strong, tell the king that the reason Fynn lost was due to Count Borgen's betrayal, having since become an Imperial general. He thinks of confessing his love to Hilda, but refuses, due to being at death's door. Maria asks if Scott knows of Leon, but he has heard no news of him. He gives his ring as well, saying that he feels tired and needs to rest, passing on. I leave for Altair. Oh, look, an airship! Arriving at Gatrea, buying a set of leather armor for Maria. Then I arrive at Altair, showing Scott's ring to Hilda, reporting his passing. While Firion offers the ring, Hilda entrusts it to the party. Seeing that the party has proven itself, she asks for our help in retrieving Mythril. New keyword learned. Asking her about the Mythril reveals that the reason Fynn fell was because of the Empire's Mythril equipment. Josef in Salamand is looking for Mythril to equip the rebel army. She asks of us to go there with Minwu to find him. I talk to Minwu, who joins us, giving us his canoe, which allows for travel through rivers and lakes. Minwu himself fills the role of White Mage. He starts with high HP, MP, Spirit, and Magic, as well as a variety of white magic spells, such as Cure 7, Life 7, Esuna 3, Blink 5, and Shell 6. Incredibly restorative and protective spells. A lady says that if I can find the Mythril, I should give it to Tobul, the blacksmith, so he can forge Mythril weapons. The town of Bavsk has been taken by the Empire, its citizens forced to build a dreadnought. A man also says that I can travel to Palom using the canoe. I talk to the king, asking about the Mythril. He reveals that it can be mined at Semitt Falls. I buy 3 sets of leather gloves, giving them to Firion, Maria, and Guy. I make my leave, going to Gatrea. According to a man there, Scott's ring has a special ability that reveals the world map. The spell is even spelled in reverse. The old man talks about the airship, which is piloted by Sid. I then cross the eastern lake, arriving at the town of Palom. Facilities in this town include an inn, an item shop, a weapon shop that sells daggers, maces, axes, and bows, an armor shop that sells bronze shields, bronze helms, copper cuirasses, and bronze gloves, and a magic shop that sells Cure, Blink, Protect, and Shell. These last 3 are protective white magic spells. Blink increases evasion level, Protect increases defense, but due to a bug, it only takes effect on its user, while Shell increases magic defense level. A sailor says that Palom and Poft haven't been attacked yet. Another says that the ship here can take me to Poft. Yet another sailor says that the cities past Poft are occupied by the Empire. I leave for Poft, deciding not to take the ferry. New enemies along the way include Goblin Guards. A bit stronger than the goblins, it has a new ability, Bow 1, allowing it to hit back row characters. Vampire Thorns, bulkier leg eaters capable of envenoming. Soldiers, they have high HP, attack and defense, they can use Bow 1 as well. Queen Bees, stronger hornets, these ones actually inflict permanent poison rather than temporary venom, requiring the use of Esuna or antidotes. And finally, Sasquatches, somewhat high HP enemies, they are not very strong. After a long walk along the coast, I arrived at Poft. Facilities here include an inn, an item shop, a weapon shop, an armor shop, and a magic shop. all of which have the same contents as Palom. A lady says that Salamand is to the north, and Bavsk is to the east. A sailor tells of Sid's airship service. He's probably at the pub. Another sailor says that the airship itself was built by Sid. I enter the pub here. The sailors here are concerned about what's happening in Bavsk. I then talk to Sid, learning the airship keyword. Asking him about it, he says that the man behind him is responsible for receiving the pay for his airship service. I travel towards the northwest, finding the town of Salamand. Facilities in this town include an inn, a healing statue, an item shop, a weapon shop that sells maces, longswords, battle axes, and longbows, an armor shop that sells bronze shields, bronze helms, bronze armor, and bronze gloves, and a magic shop that sells life, sap, warp, and teleport. Life is white magic that revives characters, sap is white magic that reduces enemy MP, warp is black magic that warps the party back a floor, and teleport is white magic that warps the player out of dungeons with an HP cost. The latter two can also be used to one-shot enemies. The Empire has taken the men of Salamand, forcing them to work at the mines of Semitt Falls, which lie to the south of Salamand. A lady is standing outside Josef's house, preferring to look from afar. I then enter the house, talking with Josef, who isn't being particularly cooperative, saying that he will help us with our quest for Mythril if we rescue the man at Semitt Falls. I made quite a bit of gil, so I decide to make a trip back to Altair, buying Blizzard and Thunder spells for Maria, then go to Palom, buying a copper cuirass for Maria. By the time I arrive at Poft, I have made enough money to buy copper cuirasses for Firion and Guy. I then make it to Salamand, resting at the inn. I set out for Semitt Falls, going south, crossing the river, circumventing the mountains, rowing north of the waterfall, arriving at the cave entrance. A new enemy found right at the first floor is the balloon. Decently strong, if possible, they must be one-shot, because if left with little HP, they will execute the self-destruct ability, inflicting massive damage. They are weak to fire and lightning though. I head west, finding a strange blue stone, and then a chest holding 10 gil. I then go all the way south, then east, finding a chest containing 200 gil. Then go all the way west, climbing down to the second floor. A new enemy that can be found is the green slime. They have an envenoming attack, but their most notable attribute is their massive defense. Fire or ice magic is best against these guys. I go northwest, opening a chest that contains eye drops, an item that clears blindness. Then I go a bit east, finding a chest containing a potion. Then go all the way south, then east, finding a chest holding another potion. I then go north, finding 4 doors. A notable inclusion in this game's dungeons are trap rooms with increased enemy encounter rates and stronger enemies as well. Leftmost is the correct choice, taking me to the 3rd floor. I go all the way south, finding a chest with a single gil coin. Riveting! I then go north, then west, around the wall, crossing a bridge, finding a chest holding 50 gil. I cross the bridge back, then go north, entering the leftmost door, finding the men of Salamand, as well as Paul, who found Nellie, Josef's daughter. Morgan has been using her as a bargaining chip to stop him from interfering, while Paul himself got caught in an attempt to find the Mythril. Now that we have arrived, he can help liberate the workers. I then go downstairs to the 4th floor. A new enemy that can be found on this floor is the zombie. They have good HP and strength, pitiful defenses, and a weakness to fire. Being undead, they can be damaged by cure and one shot by life. I go all the way north, finding a chest holding a fire tome, teaching fire to Maria. I then cross the bridges to the east, then north, going around the wall to go south, going downstairs to the 5th floor. At this floor, I cross the bridge to the west, then go north, then east, finding a chest containing a teleport tome. Wait, there's a monster in the box! Specifically, a land turtle, a high HP enemy that has good attack and defense as well. It's weak to ice though, so 2 castings of Blizzard from Maria do the job. Although the second one was odd, Maria got down, then revived by Minwu, and despite not having given her an order, she repeated it anyway. Well, it's cool by me. I then teach teleport to Guy, return to the start of the floor, going north, then entering the left door, finding an imperial. Talking to him starts combat with a sergeant enemy. He has great HP, high attack and defense as well. He even has a very threatening bow free ability that can hit back row. This is a war of attrition, where Maria spams magic while Minwu tries to out-heal the sergeant's damage. After a long fight, he goes down, dropping a Mythril helm, which I give to Guy. I then open a chest containing the Mythril. Mission accomplished. I cast teleport with Guy, leaving the dungeon. I return to Salamand. The populace here thanks me for the rescue of the workers at Semitt Falls. A man says that to cross the snow, I need a snowcraft. Apparently, Josef hid one at Semitt Falls, near a bluestone. I then talk to Josef, Relieved that his daughter is safe, he knows that Semitt Falls was once a Mythril mine, and that Sid is an airship expert. I leave Salamand, starting my trek back to Altair. Since I made quite a pretty penny, I go to the magic shop of Palom, buying Cure, Blink, and Shell for Firion. Then I go to the armor shop, buying 3 bronze shields for Firion, Maria, and Guy. Then I finally arrive at Altair, buying 2 leather caps at the armor shop for Firion and Maria. Then I visit Tobul at the weapon shop, giving him the Mythril. Tobul makes new equipment from it, which is now being sold at weapon shops around here. This one has Mythril knives, Mythril maces, Mythril spears, and Mythril swords. I then enter the HQ, quite a bit more lively. A lady here says that Borgan has arrived at Bavsk, replacing the Dark Knight as commander. This Dark Knight is apparently capable of using hypnotism to control the minds of the people. The guards are concerned that if Dreadnought is complete, then the southern cities will be attacked. I then talk to Hilda. The Dreadnought's construction is being overseen by the Dark Knight, but now that he was called to Palamicia, it is time to strike. I learn the Dreadnought keyword. Asking her about it reveals that there's a rebel in Bavsk who found a way to the Dreadnought. We must destroy it. I then talk to Gordon, still sulking. Talking to him about the Dreadnought though, he wonders if he can do something. I have gotten through quite a bit. I went on an infiltration mission to Fynn, met with Scott, who gave us his ring, showed it to Hilda, proving our prowess, joined with Minwu to travel to Salamand and meet with Josef, braved the caves of Semitt Falls, liberating the people of Salamand and defeating an imperial sergeant, finding a source of Mythril to arm the rebel army. The Empire doesn't sleep though. It's in a town named Bavsk that the Dreadnought is being built, the completion of which will be ruinous for the rebel army. The Empire's top enforcer is missing for the time being, making it the perfect moment to strike. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, as I destroy the Dreadnought.